Some of the headlines or some of the topics that have made headlines in recent weeks. Specifically, Congress just passed a spending cuts package that would cut about $9 billion from spending. 8 of that is with foreign aid, USAID, and then another $1 billion of that goes towards cuts with public broadcasting. Can you just explain your support for that bill?
Yeah, first of all, it's 1/10 of 1% of our overall spending. It's a tiny little bit, but it's a beginning of a course correction. And the fact that we're spending money it's just not really in the taxpayer's best interest. Let me give you the foreign aid as an example. We're not saying we don't want to do foreign aid. What we're saying is when we do, we want every dollar spent well, the way that Utahns would spend their dollars. And there's just a feeling that over the years, and quite frankly, over decades of doing these programs overseas, that they're not effective. They're not doing what they were originally intended to do. And when they're not, we need to peel that back and ask hard questions. Then where we have good answers, we'll go forward and continue to invest in overseas. But where money is not being spent well, it's time for us to stop and say enough.
Does this jeopardize any of our standing, if you will, with nations around the world where the U.S. comes in, helps with aid, helps kind of buoy up these other countries who can't maybe fund some of this humanitarian effort? Does it impact us in that way?
They call that soft power, and I think that's really important to the United States. And I'll point out that originally we had PEPFAR dollars in here to be cut. That's the aid vaccines that we're doing. And we pulled that out. We felt like, no, that is doing what we want it to do. It's saved 25 million lives around the country, around the world. And so, yes, let's keep that in. But to the point before is like, no, if we're spending dollars that are not having that soft power impact, that are not being spent well, that are not bringing value, then let's reevaluate those. So I think this will actually do more for that soft power in the long run because we're reevaluating what's working and what's not.